Well, it's time to belly up to the bar and see what's on tap at Brews with Brian. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Brews with Brian, a craft beer review podcast. Each and every week, we review a beer from the craft beer world. Show has exploded, guys. Since we joined the Loaded Sports Network, everything has just changed. So we appreciate all the support. But guys, let's get to it. Let's get to why you're here. Let's talk about a little beer. This week we're talking CBS, not the broadcasting system, but the beer from Founders Brewing Company. Founders is out of Grand Rapids, Michigan. CBS has an ABV of 11.3%. So this is a sipping beer, as I like to call it. You definitely do not want to be drinking a lot of these at one time. 11.3% is really gonna, you're really gonna feel it, and need to be responsible. Like I said, don't be stupid. But let's, the reason why you're here, guys, the review of it. Let's start it. Pouring this beer into a glass like you should for all craft beer. You see the dark brown color. And it's almost black. This thing's a breakfast stout. It's a Canadian breakfast stout. It's what CBS means. It has a 1-inch brown head with fair retention, with some lacing on the glass, which is always good. And the aroma is immediate. It is of maple syrup, bourbon, and a dark roasty aroma, maybe from like a charred barrel or something. There's also some chocolate and considerable sweetness just in the aroma, because this thing's a really sweet beer. Taking a sip of the beer, you get a complex combination of roasted malt, coffee, chocolate, bourbon, and maple syrup. And there is a lot of stuff going on in this fine beer. The mouthfeel is full body and really thick. I mean, this thing is super thick. There's some hops as well, but overall it's a really well-balanced beer. You do get a hint of lingering alcohol in this beer, which is expected, with the high ABV. And if any of y'all don't know, ABV means alcohol by volume. But overall, man, I love this beer. This beer is one of my favorites. Ever since I started exploring this craft beer world, CBS and Founders in general, Founders, everything they do is fantastic. CBS is good, KBS is good. They got a ton of stuff. Mass Agave. But like I said, with this high ABV, you can only drink one or two in a sitting responsibly, anyway. But guys, you gotta seek this beer out. You gotta try it. You will not be disappointed. But guys, let's go to this next slide right here. Here's a picture of CBS in a glass, again, like you should do with all craft beer. Just makes the experience a lot better, especially these big tulip glasses like that. But let's check in with Bill. Bill's one of our buddies, real close to all of us here at the Loaded Sports Network. Each and every week, Bill gives you his review on what he thought of the beer. So we see here, Bill is pouring the beer into the Brews with Brian mug, as he does every week. Let's see what Bill's got to say this week, guys. Bill's a fan of it too. Big surprise. Usually if I like it, Bill does too. So he's a fan of it. So you know what that means, guys. Y'all have to go find it. Bill says you have to. I say you have to. You have to try this beer. But let's get over to Brews with Brian bar trivia. Been a big hit. Been hearing things from people who listen and watch the show, how much they enjoy Brews with Brian bar trivia. Just adds a little extra flavor to the show. The question from last week was, what U.S. state consumes the most alcohol? The answer was Nevada. I don't know if anybody said Nevada, but you would think with Las Vegas and all that's probably true. Hey, everybody, it's Coach and Colonel here from the Spring Loaded Football Podcast, taking a short break from your podcast. We wanted to tell you about Spring Loaded Football, where each and every Friday we talk about Spring League sports, USFL, XFL, X League, fan control football, guys. We got it all. Coach, what you got to say?
Hey, y'all check us out. Like it, love it, and everything. We talk about a lot of stuff on here. We try to keep it quick and simple, and we talk about everything. Even some things like kickers.
That's right. Check
Quit
it out,
grinning, man.
springloadedfootball.com. Now back to the show. But the question for this week, Plop Plop Fizz Fizz was an advertising slogan for what? This one doesn't have anything to do with alcohol. Just thought I'd throw y'all a curveball on this one. Plop Plop Fizz Fizz was an advertising slogan for what? Do you know it? You might know it. But we'll get that out of the way, guys. We want to just tell you thank you guys for making the show a hit. Again, once we got here on the Lotus Sports Network, the show has blossomed, and I can't thank y'all enough. But you can check the show out, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, anywhere you get your favorite podcast. Don't forget the YouTube channel. Putting this video show on YouTube's really helped this expand and grow. And I want to thank the guys at the Lotus Sports Network for that, because that's how we do all the shows here on the network. But guys, I tell you every week, don't be stupid. Be responsible. You're adults. It's easy to be responsible. You know, like I said with this beer, just drink one or two. That's it. But that's going to do it this week for Brews or Brine. And come back where knowledge is always on tap.